You're tuned in to Repco Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Proudly brought to you by Repco, in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Rislone. And in today's episode, we catch up with Dan Southall and his Rapid Camaro, a twin-turboed small block SS punching its way up the ranks of New Zealand's quickest street cars. But first, thanks to our mates at the Mount Shop, we say a big welcome back to the Napa Auto Parts Dragway, aka Mere Mere. It's March 2022. Finally, after COVID keeping things on ice a fair bit over the past few years, events are cranking up again and almost getting back into full swing. That means a test and tune session. A perfect excuse to blow out the dust and make some noise. Unfortunately, the crowds had to be kept to a minimum for this one, but it was still a good chance to get reacquainted with Mere Mere's legendary quarter mile and see who was doing the business.
Well, Mere Mere started in 1973 from Pukekohe Hot Rod Club volunteers, so next year is our 50th anniversary. It's a great facility. I've been the manager here coming on to 13 years now. Today, it's basically what we've called it COVID grudge number 3. It's the third one we've done. We're very, very limited on who we can have or how many people we can have. We have 100 people in the pits and 100 spectators, and that's about it. Not very financial for us, but it gets the races out and makes a couple of dollars for us, so we survive.
COVID's hit us pretty hard. Like the 2021-2022 season we're currently in, we've had one non-rained out or cancelled national round, so the national series for this season is kind of dead on the water. Today was meant to be a competition meeting, I believe, anyway, so we kind of had the date penciled in and decided to run under the regulations we've currently got, and people are turning up and we're getting people down the track, and it's nice to get the old smell of methanol up the nostrils again.
Hey, the facility needs to be used. We need to go out, do skids, make noise, make smoke, yeah.
So, with many of today's races a little rusty from a COVID-enforced holiday, who will be the ones to watch?
When you go into what we call top alcohol, which is purpose-built race car, long, skinny things, Tamara Silk from down in Wellington, she seems to be doing the business at the moment, fastest female in New Zealand. Barry Plumpton, his fastest door car in New Zealand. It sometimes runs over Australia, and obviously with the COVID thing, it's sort of the car's here and he hasn't gone back yet. But in door cars, he's the man to watch.
And it truly was an impressive sight to see the behemoth engine of Barry Plumpton's The Bullet back on the track. While they didn't truly push its limits today, it's a unique machine that's unquestionably leading the pack.
It's a Bickle car. We brought it into New Zealand about 4 years ago. It's got a Pat Messi 959-inch motor in it, something different for New Zealand, big inch motors. I started with a 600 cubic inch engine, 632, and we went up to an 823, and now we're running the 959. To run nitrous engines and keep up with these blowing guys, you need more cubes. And this is a proven race motor in the States, and he's a good engine builder, so we got on board with that, and yeah, it's going well.
959 cubic inches. Let that sink in. You know how many litres that is? Well, a 4-litre engine is 250 cubic inches. You times that, that's 750. So that's 12 litres already, and you've still got another just about 250 left. There's about 15 litres. What's your average car these days? 1.6 litres. 2-litre engine, and this is what, 16, 15 litres?
Yeah, we ran a 592 a couple of years ago. Haven't been able to run back into the 5 since, but that was a good pass, and we ran a few 6.0s last year as well. So it's a challenge, you know, like we're hiding in the trailer, looking at computers and trying to study. It's a science of actually trying to achieve and get the car to move down the track. You know, the thing is that people think you can spend money on horsepower and you're going to run fast. It's not like that when you're getting into the shorter times. It's all about the science of when you apply the power, when you don't apply the power, the chassis setup. You know, we change things every round and just basically try and go out there and do something better. So it's a mind game, you know. We run 3 660s today, which is consistent, but they've all been done differently. And we've been getting shake, tyre shake, which is when either the tyre doesn't go fast enough or goes too fast. And we're just working on different tunes there. We're just changing the timing in the engine and changing a few shock settings and that sort of thing, just trying to try and chase the track and see if we can find it. We worked through in the off-season until COVID hit. We rebuilt the car, we took some weight out of it. Yeah, it's a shame that we haven't had a proper season this year, but we could be sitting on the couch right now saving money, not burning parts up, but at the same time, it's good to come down here. We've got good sponsors on board, and we come down here and learn and practice and try and figure it out for next year, so it's good.
I'd say Barry do it because he likes to be a little bit different. He's gone big cubic inches and nitrous oxide. Everybody else has got like 520 cubic inches and they run superchargers. But he's gone down this route, big engine, nitrous oxide, and it fits the class that he runs in. And it proves at the pudding that he's the fastest in New Zealand, isn't he? Nobody's got to run into the 5-second bracket apart from him.
Beside Barry Plumpton's beast, the Bullet, another amazing vehicle was gearing up to be put through its paces. A world-famous example of a Ford icon with a storied past being brought back to former glory by New Zealand racing royalty, the Marshes. Yep, it's fair to say Anthony and Tony are both well acquainted with the Miri Miri Quarter Mile, and their excitement at being out amongst it again was clear to see.
We have a 1971 Ford Maverick. I bought it from the States off a friend of mine 2 years ago without a motor. Had the gearbox and the exhaust, but no motor. And we built a motor here at work for it. It came out last year and the wild bunch and have some fun. So the last few years, Anthony's been driving. We had the Ford Power Dragster and then the A fuel car and the top fuel car. So Anthony drove all three. And now as I'm a senior citizen, it was my turn to have a go, so I bought this thing and got it going last year. It's affectionately known, if you Google it, as the world's fastest Maverick. It comes straight up, because in the States it was the fastest Maverick.
This is the old man's toy he brought out of the States a few years ago. We had it here the same meeting I wrote the A fuel car off, so we decided instead of building another A fuel car, we'll just put our effort into this. It's just a little hobby for the old man. He's 70 this year, so just try and enjoy what we've got left and have a bit of fun. And he's going pretty quick, actually. Ran a 650, 197 mile an hour, but got out of the throttle early, so it's 230 mile an hour car, which at 70 years old will get his attention.
And Anthony's more than happy to be wrenching rather than sitting in the hot seat today, thanks to a moment that's since gone down in Miri Miri history.
I had a little bit of a crash early 2020, so that sort of put me out. My wife said enough's enough, got kids to worry about these days, so have a break for a couple of years and hopefully she gets home and I get back into it.
So with Anthony Marsh's crash in the A Fuel a couple of seasons ago now, it was the final for top alcohol and he won the championship, like national championship I'm pretty sure with that race. But the throttle stuck and he was doing north of 200 mile an hour, so well over 300k an hour.
Racing Chris Johnson, the final top alcohol at the Nationals in 2020. Smoked the tyres at half track, got back off the throttle, back on it, hooked up, got to the end, took my foot off the throttle at the end and it had stuck. By the time I got the throttle back, I missed the parachute lever, missed the brakes, stuffed it all up, hit the wall at the end, bounced off the wall, went through some gorse for 100 odd metres, then spent 150 metres in the air, then cartwheeled it through 3 creeks and landed back on its wheels.
Broke Dave Green's record from back in the day for going down past the end of the track. And it was pretty scary because for a good 30 seconds there we didn't know if he was okay and we didn't even have a visual contact with him. But all the safety gear did its work and Anthony managed to come out okay, just a bit bruised and probably needing new underwear.
I got out, I was a little shook up. I thought the old man would kill me. He just another one of his cars. It's not the first one I've done it to, so no, I just had a look around. There's a couple of electric fences wound around the car. Got a couple of shocks getting out, but no, I had a small scratch on my neck from the Hans device. But all the safety equipment did its job, and I walked away, had a beer about 10 minutes later. You know, your average Sunday arvo.
So what is the attraction of drag racing in general, and Miri Miri in particular? Why is this place such a crowd puller and a crowd pleaser? Well, when COVID's behaving, that is. And why do New Zealand's top drivers love this legendary strip just as much?
Oh, it's great. I mean, both the tracks in New Zealand are great. That's our local, you know. It's an hour down the road from where we live. So it's where I started racing when I was early 20s, just running around in a street car and progressed, stepped out of the sport for a while I was trying to build my business, and we built that and we could afford another street car, and we just slowly come back in the last 12 years, going faster and faster.
Drag racing is not like any other motorsport in the world. We make engines bigger, faster, and it goes down in horsepower. We don't give a shit if they don't last long. Where do you get an engine making over 10,000 horsepower in any motorsport in the world? That's the whole grid of V8 supercars. You can't beat it. As you guys are standing on the start line, the noise is undescribable.
Everything's a blur. I don't know how any other one feels, but it's a blur to me. Just you can see shapes, you got an idea where you're going. Yeah, if you say you know what you're doing and you can see, you're lying. It's just a blur. Too fast, too many G's, too much going on, too much to try remember. Yeah, just hang on, enjoy the ride, really.
Once you start, it's addictive. It's very, very hard to stop.
I honestly have no good answer for why I'm here doing it. Like, I guess it's more exciting than fishing? I don't know.
So sure, there's been some challenges over recent times, but Mere endures. This season may have got up and firing again in the late stages, but all eyes are on a full speed return next summer.
And we're waiting for things to open up, and hopefully, the noises coming out of the government, things are going to open up a little bit more in hopefully the next few weeks. So we've still got a competition series that we've only run 2 rounds out of 5. So we want to run at least another one. We run Friday night drags, night wars. We normally have 8 meetings. We've done 1. So we'd like to do at least another couple of those. But we've got a small window. Once you start heading into May, it's too cold. You won't get these cars down the track. You need some heat, you need sun, you need that black top to get heat in it. So the cars adhere to it. So hopefully we can run a couple more meetings and next year back into it. Full season.
Advanced protection of hybrid ceramic.
Whoa.
Now in 3 easy-to-use products. In original spray wax, now as a liquid wax, and a spray detailer. Meguiar's hybrid ceramic family with advanced SiO2 technology. Meguiar's, ceramic made easy.
Rizlone has been in engines almost as long as engines have been in cars. Why? Because from then until now, there's never been a perfectly clean fuel. This means every time you fill up, you're adding pollutants and contaminants to your fuel system. Rizlone Fuel Injector Cleaner can cure those woes and help save your engine. Rizlone Fuel Injector Cleaner adds an upper cylinder lubricant, providing double the cleaning power out of the same bottle. We know something about aging well, so when we say it's your engine's fountain of youth under a screw top, you can count on it. Rizlone is the original engine tune-up. Available at participating stores near you.
Welcome back to Repco Muscle Garage. In association with Meguiar's, we're now taking a closer look at a pretty special vehicle. It might sport a waff on the window, but Dan Southall's '69 Chevy Camaro is no stranger to drag strips across the country. He's not there to mess around either, securing an enviable spot right up near the sharp end of New Zealand's quickest street cars. Dan's had the SS for over 10 years, and a quest for speed has led him and his crack team through multiple iterations of engine and setups before settling on the current combo. And amazingly, through it all, the Street Warrior has stayed leaf-sprung on a chassis still supporting its factory spec.
So I bought the Camaro back in 2007, 2008. It appeared in good condition, but we rebuilt the car. It took us a year in the panel shop down in Wanganui, and basically cut the car in half and panelled and painted it. It was a bit of a major, but we got there in the end. So when I first bought the car, I previously had a small block 7 HQ Premier. There was a pretty wild motor in it back 2006, We put that in the Camaro, and then we put nitrous on it, ran 9.7s, then we eventually went to a Pro Charger, built a whole new motor for that, went Pro Charge, ran down to a Best 851. Then years later we decided we'll go twin turbo, go a bit faster. So we've done that, and it's ran a 798 at 182, but its best mile an hour is actually 185 miles an hour on the quarter with an 8.0.
One of the keys to clocking such low numbers has been in pulling together a winning team of contributors. The FFR-built engine and M&M transmission formed the foundation, but the game changer came when Dan called in the big guns, C&M Performance.
What we've actually done to the car, we've twin turbo small block Chevy, dark block, 406 cubic inches, built by Reese Fisher at FFR Race Engines. Mark Mickey transmission from M&M Transmissions in America. Runs a fabricated 9-inch diff by Mosier, water air intercooler, Holley EFI ECU done by C&M Performance here. So yeah, pretty trick setup really.
Key components like an M&M transmission turbo 400 trans, which runs a billet bolt together converter controlled by 2 dump valves, were put in place. C&M also added a Holley Sniper EFI unit to call the shots, and the tuning process that followed helped solidify a long-lasting partnership for Dan.
So basically we have an internal dump valve which lets the car build up boost, which basically a dump valve diverts oil pressure out of the transmission into the sump of the trans and lets it come up on boost easier. So essentially it loosens the converter. And then we have a separate dump valve that is controlled by the ECU that lets it pressurise the converter as it goes down the track to, i.e. try and get faster on those 60 foots, which is all controlled by Carl and his tuning ability on the Holley Dominator ECU in the car.
Dan came to us a few years back. We started tuning the car for him when it was pro-charged, and yeah, it sort of snowballed from there a little bit. We went EFI with that and ran that for a bit, and then he wanted to go a little bit faster. We put the turbos on it. AJ, that is my right-hand man, he did all the fabricating and stuff on the car, and Reese built the motor, and yeah, it's got a nice little package now.
You learn a lot from trial and error. A lot of things I think is just listen to more the professional guys than what you read on the internet or in a magazine, because what may work for someone isn't going to work for you. I learned that a lot here with Carl and Reese. Things I've done just that I thought were right weren't, and it ends up costing you a lot of money. So Mark Mickey in America, obviously he still has the world radial record for 8th mile in the States, so he does all our transmission converter, that type of stuff. So you're going to the best in the world on some things on that car, and obviously the best in New Zealand with C&M and Reese. So yeah, I think that one of the hurdles coming over is realise your own ability as well. I'm a builder, I don't build cars. Yeah, I do a bit on and I've learnt a lot, but there's things you've got to leave to professionals, yeah.
Despite reaching the pinnacle of performance with some serious times, Dan Southall's untubbed leaf-sprung 1,600-pound 69 Camaro also regularly drives its way to and from the track. Without question, this is one of the most hardcore street cars in the country. So what drives Dan to make sure this monster keeps passing every test, even when it comes to staying street legal?
The chassis in the car, obviously 69 Camaro, so one of our things was keep it as close to original as the car came from the factory. So we haven't changed the subframe in the front of the car. That's all General Motors 69 Chevy Camaro. The leaf springs are still leaf springs. They're Calvert racing leaf springs in the back with Gazette racing shocks. So still pretty close to what it came from the factory style setup. The whole warrant of fitness thing, the challenge for us was to try and keep it as much as a street car as possible. And that's why we run full exhaust system on it. Yeah, we could cut it all off and make it a little bit lighter here and there, but we don't want to do that. Our challenge is the street car list. We want it as close to a warrant of fitness when we race that car as possible. And I think we've achieved it. I mean, there's not many cars out there running a 69 chassis with a full exhaust system running 790s at 182 plus miles an hour. We change out the doors, the wheels, take the wing and the parachute off it, and that's about it for a warrant. If I was to build a race car, yeah, I'd go a lot quicker, but I can't go down to this McDonald's for a drive-through, can I? With the missus and the kids in the car. You know, so I get to drive my 7-second street car around on the streets.
So after a lot of time, work, reinvention and dedication, Dan's 69 Camaro's breaking speed barriers scarcely believable in a street machine. Small block, small tyre, leaf sprung, and now conquering the 7-second mark, the Camaro is sitting pretty on the NZ V8 quickest streeters list. 3rd fastest overall. A real cause for celebration for all involved.
Well, we ran about 4.80s in one night at a meeting, the night meeting up here at Mary. But to run that 8.0 was, it was an awesome feeling. But when we actually ran the 7, that was a feeling that's indescribable. Mate, it was just the whole team. We were all there, and by the time I got back to the pits, mate, it was high fives all around. A few beers got drunken, and it was a big occasion to do it. No one in New Zealand is even close in a street legal car on leaf springs and a small tyre, even a small tyre on the street car list to what we're doing. So it's just a big testament to Carl and AJ and CNM and Reece at FFR of the work they do. And my son, I better mention him, don't forget him. He comes to every drag meet. He's been coming since he was 1 year old. He's at every single drag meet, helping out where he can. So whether it's have time off school, I don't know, but he seems to like coming.
Oh yeah, always pretty proud, that we're up there doing it. Been doing it a long time, and it comes down to the owner as well. That they want it to do that, they choose us. Yeah, I'm proud. The boys are all proud. Everybody involved is really, it's a cool thing. It's a leaf sprung car, it's a small tyre, so yeah, it gets the job done for what it is.
It just progresses drag racing. You go a little bit faster, you want a little bit more. Costs you a little bit more money to do it, but you have fun doing it, and you meet great guys along the way and build up good friendships like I have with Carl and AJ, Regan here at CNM, and Reece Fish at FFR Race Engines.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week for more of the meanest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines on Muscle Garage. Feel like your car could do with some TLC? No worries, we've got every base covered, because we could be hooking you up with an incredible prize pack thanks to our sponsors. For a start, there's this massive Maguire's and Rislone complete car care pack valued at over $760. We've also thrown in this handy 85-piece Repco toolkit valued at $672. To stay on top of everything underneath, there's a $500 mount shop voucher. And last but not least, you'll also score a year's subscription to NZ V8 magazine. That's a total prize pool of nearly $2,000. To enter, just head over to themotorhood.com and hit the Repco Muscle Garage link on the homepage. The winner will be drawn at the end of the series, so make sure you get amongst, because this prize pack is one major haul. Good luck. Repco Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Repco. It starts with the parts. Mount Shop Undercar Specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Rislone, high performance additives for high performance vehicles.